Hey, it's me. It's animated me. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and it's time for another episode of Completed It. Movie reviews, pop culture, celebrity guests, and all that good stuff. Oh, and my good friend over there, Sasha Alari, as my co-host. Hey, Sach, hit the titles, brother. Hey everybody, welcome back to Completed It. I'm your host, Andy Burrows. At the bottom of my screen, you can see one of my co-hosts chomping away on a Snickers, I believe. You don't have to say hello, just do the John Cena salute. Last match this weekend, by the way. Sash, welcome to the show, brother. In the top left-hand side of my screen, it's Neil himself. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Oh, we're good. We're all doing the John Cena salute today. I like it.
Good was it there?
Yeah, he's leaving. He's retiring this week. We are here to talk all things Supergirl trailer that dropped this past week. Right, boys, before we get into it, I'm going to try something here. This is Zoom. Everyone watching, bear in mind, this is Zoom we're recording this on.
Technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
we're going to try and play the trailer, watch it, and then talk about it.
All
So
right.
let's give it a go. Dee, 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 dee. Can everyone see it?
Yep.
Good. Right, let's hit play.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy. Hi, cars are out. Hereby declare that 23 will be the best year yet. Let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
I didn't know any of you were still alive. What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind. Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Do others on your planet have powers like you?
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
What's Superman like?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Hopefully that worked. I have no idea that's going to come out. Hopefully everyone's still here. Boys, the Supergirl trailer, as we have just seen, has dropped.
Mhm.
Let's get initial thoughts on what we all think. Neil, let's start with you, brother.
All right.
Um, you weren't a massive fan of the Superman movie.
I was not.
Does one hold much hope for the Supergirl movie?
I'm equal splits between yes and no.
Okay.
So this movie looks more like a John James Gunn movie than Superman did, and Superman is literally a James Gunn movie, and this
Yeah,
movie is
this is
not.
Craig Gillespie. Yeah.
So that is a bit weird. I mean, you could literally like if you could literally have just been like, this is a Star-Lord movie, right?
Yeah,
It just genuinely I had that entire aura of it, everything. Maybe yes, in part to do with the music, the musical choices that they made. It is a teaser trailer, so it is just like teasing the audience with things to come and whatnot. I think in general, do you know what? This would have probably been a better starting off point than the Superman movie.
mm,
As in, you could have introduced Superman
As
in this
in,
movie.
As in, this should have been
first.
film one, and then Superman could have been film two or whatever, right? Because this feels like it's got more teeth as a movie. It feels like it's got more interesting things to show you. Like Superman was very, if we're talking about like
Cookie cutter.
that, yeah, it was very vanilla. It was very just kind of plain, like, here's a movie, it's Superman, done. It could have it I'm not throwing out like, oh, I'm removing my own personal feelings towards Superman or whatever. It's just generally just as a movie as it was displayed. It was just
It's
very
fine.
generic. Like there was nothing about it that when that movie was done, I'm like, I need to have countless discussions and debates and podcast episodes and all of that where we break down everything we saw. Everything was just very kind of generic. This feels a little bit more like there's stuff in there because, but maybe it's because of the way that was it Craig Gillespie?
Craig Gillespie's the director, yeah.
Maybe it's the way that Craig is putting it out. Maybe it's the way that the story has been being presented, and I think the story is to do with James Gunn more than Gillespie. But it's maybe it is just a thing of we're making this movie. It was like maybe it was a thing of okay, we gave you the cookie cutter, plain and simple, so you know the stuff exists. Now we're gonna get into the weeds of it. And I think the trailer does say that, there is gonna be some into it. I think I don't know, is now the right time to get into what could be potential spoilers about this
I
movie?
mean, if you look in the trailer, we saw a lot of Krypton, which is obviously
Well,
which we like. I'm guessing they're going to
it's
tell her. I think they've already said they're going to tell a backstory of Supergirl, Kara.
because the thing is, if I say where I'm thinking,
You can
I
say. Well, we can
uh
say. Well, we don't
so
really know. We're,
essentially,
we're just guessing at this point.
yeah, I mean, what I saw was when they were having that conversation about, oh, Krypton didn't die in a day. Obviously, that leans and hints towards the politics that could be taking place within this film, the politics of Krypton, and people not listening to Jor-El, people not listening to like Kara's parents,
Hmm.
that whole kind of like the political system letting you down.
Hmm.
So there is that. But also, I think that whole kind of big golden shield thing, that's
Hmm.
the bottling of Kandor. That's the city of Kandor. That's
Hmm.
clearly it being bottled. So they're clearly without, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, they're clearly saying, hey, at some point in time, you're going to see Brainiac.
Which we know is going to be in the next Superman movie.
Right. Well, now we know. It's like clearly, it's like, here you go. Here's going to
Hmm.
be a Brainiac. Here's the bottling of the city of Kandor. And then voila,
Mm.
right? So that, and also it seems like we're dealing with what I would say is, she says she's 23. This is an early 20-year-olds with PTSD.
Hmm.
That's what she looks like when, everything about her, this kind of, I don't really give a shit. I don't really care. All of that. Just everything I see in the trailer, I was like, okay, you have an interesting character in Supergirl, in the Supergirl that they're presenting. I'm just like, I'm hoping the film lives up to the interesting parts that the trailer has shown. But really and truly, the trailer on its own, it just looks like they just grabbed the film, launched it into the Guardians of the Galaxy cookie making machine and just spat it out and was like, here you go.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Sash, before I give my two penneth worth, what did you make of the teaser trailer?
Mhm.
And it has to be the word there is key. Is teaser trailer. This
Yeah,
wasn't a
that's
full
it.
on.
I know what a
No,
teaser trailer is.
I'm not. I'm
That
trying to.
that felt
I'm.
like an actual trailer, though.
I don't
Mm.
There's
know.
nothing teasing about it.
I don't know, man.
But my problem with it is, well, you know what? I'm in two minds about it. It was
Mhm.
fine. It was on one side, it was fine,
Yeah,
but for me personally, it's too little, too late. For me, the train left the station 10 years ago. If this had come out, if this trailer for Supergirl came out 10 years ago, I know James Gunn's universe didn't exist 10 years ago.
yeah.
And let's just say I'd never seen Guardians of the Galaxy or anything that's tried to emulate that.
Mhm.
I'd have been like, oh my God, have you seen the Supergirl trailer? It looks fucking interesting. It's amazing. But my problem is, I've seen all of this shit before. There's nothing that
You could say
stands
that
out.
about a million movies that have been ever
No,
made.
no, that's rubbish.
Every
That's
Mission
rubbish.
Impossible
That's
trailer is
absolutely
exactly the
rubbish.
same.
That's no, but with Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible's Mission Impossible. You know what I
Superman
mean?
and Supergirl, Superman and
I don't
Supergirl.
expect Mission Impossible to be anything different than what it is. Okay. I'm talking about Supergirl, a new character. Okay, because there hasn't been a Supergirl film since 1984. All right. It's not like Mission Impossible where there's one every fucking 2 years,
And
two,
they're all
three
the same.
years. All right. So, which is an ongoing shit, right? Which has certain ingredients and shit. Tom Cruise doing crazy shit, fucking forget that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I love those movies, but forget that shit. My point is that this is Supergirl. This is the first Supergirl movie since 1984. You want to fucking grab people by the bollocks and go, right, we're here. Then don't get me wrong, it has the ingredients to do that in this trailer, but washed in a post Guardians of the Galaxy world where everything's trying to emulate Guardians of the Galaxy from fucking, getting James Gunn to do Peacemaker, and then you got the boys doing what the boys does, then you got like everything with quick whips and whatnot. This doesn't bring anything new to the table for the genre. It's just like, okay, cool. Like, it's different for Supergirl, granted. Okay. Um, but for me personally, where I'm at with all of this comic book movie shit, I'm just like, I'm done. I've checked out.
Mhm.
I was disappointed by James Gunn's Superman a little bit. I thought it was a fine movie. It was cookie cutter. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Do you know what I mean? When I said 5 out of 10 to people, people were like, "Oh, you think it's shit?" Blah blah blah. No, I like David Coren Sweat. I love Lex Luthor. I love that it was in a DC world that was already established because it separated and did something new from the other iterations. My problem with the movie was that it just didn't feel like a movie. It just felt like a TV show. It felt like a TikTok video. It doesn't feel like a movie. And so when I watch this, I'm like, cool, more TikTok garbage. It's not fresh anymore. It doesn't resonate in me. So I hope it's good. I want it to be good because I love these things growing up, but it's just, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, big IP really doesn't do me the same way it used to.
Mm.
When we were growing up, we were starved for this content. We just had Michael Keaton's Batman, and we had probably The Shadow, or we had like The Rocketeer, or we had Superman on the TV screen if we're talking the 90s, all right? Yeah, we had Dick Donner's Superman, but you know what I mean? That was old when we were growing up. I'm talking in 1999 when I was knee deep in comic books, and I personally wanted there
I
to be
wondered what you
more
was going to
comic
say
book
then.
movies. But the problem is now is
Mm.
that there's too much of it too soon. It all looks the same, and now it's just garbage, or at
But
least it's presented like garbage to me. So for me to get excited, I need to see something that looks okay, interesting, or like, whoa, what was that? Like I said, this would have worked for me 10 years ago,
Mhm.
but post the Guardians of the Galaxy world, it's just cookie cutter. But that's just my opinion. I want to be proven wrong so badly. It's not that I hate on everything. I want everything to be amazing. All right. I want to be like how I felt before Endgame. If you knew me before Endgame came out, I was like, Marvel could do no wrong. I was like, Kevin Feige, bro, fucking vote. Let's go. MCU. Look at our marvelous reactions. I'm positive on all of them. You know what I mean? Because it's the golden years of fucking comic book movies. When you were anti Thor Ragnarok, I was like, no, this movie's fucking great, right? I want to feel that
Mhm.
from Supergirl, right? When I saw Thor Ragnarok's trailer with the fucking immigrant song, that was fresh, that was new. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm fucking there. I'm gobbling this shit up. You know what I mean? Supergirl does not evoke that in me. You know, it's just another trailer, which brings me to my point. It's just content. And that's what they want to shovel us. Just content. It's not a movie, it's just content. Is it a good trailer? It's an okay trailer. It's an okay trailer. But it's how you feel about things now. You know what I mean? And for me, I, I want to be proven wrong. And they need to prove it to me in the theater when I watch it.
Okay.
So I'm on, like Superman, like my review of Superman 2025, 5 out of 10 for this trailer. Okay. Because there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing aesthetically wrong with it. It's fine. But
Mm.
it doesn't have the secret sauce for me. But that's a me thing. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
a me thing. Now, if you love it, that's great. I love that it worked for you. You know what I mean? I love that it worked for you. And I want to be you right there that looked at that and was like, oh my God, that was amazing. That was the best thing I ever saw. I want to be that guy. But unfortunately, this 45-year-old dude is like, eh, you know. But I digress. Andy,
No,
how
no,
did you
no, no,
feel?
no, no. No. Maybe this is why we always record in the morning. Sounds like Sasha's had about 10 Red Bulls.
Oh, I've had a full morning. I've had a
Oh,
full
dear, this
morning.
maybe we should stick to more. No, no. Hey, look. I what I liked about this trailer was I like the fact that we're going to get her story from the Krypton side of things. It's not
Yeah.
going to be
Yep.
Krypton blew up. They come to Earth from Superman, like Clark and
It's
Kal-El
a new
went this
perspective.
way, and yeah, Kara went this way, etc., etc. It's a whole new perspective. I like the fact that one of the strongest, we'll call him a quote unquote, well, not superhero, anti-superhero. And if you like your comics, and if you go back to 1983, was
Mm.
when we first saw Lobo.
Big
Big,
apple.
big, 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 but this is a huge deal for like especially the DCU. This is
Mm.
like when Marvel introduced Captain Marvel, or when they're bringing in their version of the big guns. Lobo effectively can kick the shit out of both Superman and Supergirl. If you know your comics and if you've read your comics, and like I'm guessing us three definitely know the backstory. I'm
Yep.
liking to think that people watch this. So I like the fact that Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo. Really interested to see what they're going to do with that, because effectively he can only be killed by his own kind. If I vaguely remember doing my comic book history correctly, he can't be killed by anyone outside of his
His
own kind. So
wishes.
yeah, exactly. So I'm going to be really interested in that.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, we saw a little glimpse of crypto there, and if you've read the comic book that obviously this movie is based around, you kind of already
Mhm.
know what happens. The only thing I don't like is that everything I'm reading, and this is me, bear in mind, I'm the biggest Superman, Supergirl fan probably on the planet right now.
Mhm.
Um, if you've read the comic, I
You know
think
what's gonna
this,
happen.
yeah, that's the only thing. And I love when they do comic book movies. I think it's great, but don't follow it. I watched the T. Do you remember the film Shooter with
Yes,
Mark? Did you
Mark
ever watch the
Wahlberg.
TV? Yeah, did you watch the TV series?
No.
It followed the movie to the letter, but broke it
Mhm.
down into 45-minute segments. It was the movie. It finished the same. Everything was the same.
Mhm.
Everything was the same about the TV series. I'm ho. I like it when comic book movies are based on comic books that I've read,
Mhm.
but I know the ending. I can't. I don't want to go into this movie going, please don't be page for page of the comic. Throw me something in there that's going to set the next Superman movie up. That's going to not be. I've read that comic countless times. I know I'm not going
Yeah.
to say it in case there's people watching this that haven't seen it or haven't read it. Sorry, that don't know. I'm just. I get why you want to stick to a comic book because you are
Mhm.
essentially a comic book movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, this was page 27. This was page 84. Don't be Shooter that was on Netflix. Trust me, anyone that hasn't seen the Shooter TV series, go and watch it. It's exactly the same as the movie, but they break it down to 45, 8 episodes, 9 episodes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's the movie. But I really enjoyed and it was for me, it was just like, oh, there's a snippet there's a snippet there. It took
Mhm.
a while to see her in her costume. They didn't give me loads that I already didn't know. I didn't go into this trailer thinking, oh, I want to see something new. I knew that Lobo was going to be in it.
Yeah.
Saw Jason Momoa for all of 2 seconds walking
Mm.
towards the camera, obviously in the teaser trailer. You didn't see her really kicking ass. You saw her potentially going to do it. Saw her in her suit once with her X-ray vision, etc., etc. I like. It looks like they're going to tell a hell of a backstory with Krypton. I
Mhm.
really like that. Um, I think it's going to be a standalone movie, but it's going to be a let's set the next 4 years up for the DCU kind of thing.
Yeah.
We already know that David Cornsweet's in this movie. IMDb gave that away by putting him in the bloody credits already. So we kind of already knew he was going to be in it. Is he going to be post credit? Is he going to be actually in the movie? Is he going to rock up and hopefully he doesn't just turn up and save the day? If anyone remembers watching Supergirl the series, we
Mm.
first got introduced to Superman in that series by him just rocking up, beating the living shit out of everyone and saving the day. I'm
Yeah.
hoping they let Supergirl be Supergirl in this movie. I
Mhm.
really do because, like Sash says, we haven't had one since 1984. Helen Slater's movie in 1984,
Yeah.
which, for what it was, this for a lot of people is going to be everyone's first Supergirl movie.
Yeah, it will.
There's a whole generation
The
of
whole
people, kind
thing,
of us included. We watched the
thing,
Supergirl movie, but we were really young.
the
And
Supergirl movie came out the year I was born.
say
So
that,
from then till now,
yeah. And he had the
barring,
same amount of hair when he was born as he does now, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, just in a different place.
But do you know what I mean?
But
For a lot of
yeah,
people, and I said that with our Superman review, we grew up with Christopher Reeve. Very, very
yeah,
lucky to grow up with the GOAT. And I've watched a lot. I watch a lot of content online, TikTok, wherever it is, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is my first Superman
yeah,
interaction with Superman." You know, we've had obviously we had Man of Steel, etc., etc. But again, this is going to be kind of us as well. Our very
mhm,
first look at a Supergirl movie.
yeah,
We had the TV series. Some people love it. Some people really hated it. I really enjoyed it. It
mhm,
got kind of flashy near the end. It got a bit shit near the end because I think they
yeah,
were running out of ideas, and that's why that whole universe ended. The Flash ended. Supergirl ended. Lois and Clark. Every Superman and Lois. It all ended. Everything ended for a reason. With this Supergirl movie, I'm really, really keen to see what Gillespie does with it. Is it going to be setting stuff up? Yeah, of course it is. But name me a superhero movie that doesn't. We do Marvelous Mondays.
What that
Every
doesn't
Marvel, yeah, every superhero slash
that
movie,
doesn't set stuff up.
yeah, it always does. There's always
great too.
something you think, yeah, there's always something where you go, I left the Superman movie going, oh, well,
Well,
there's going to be
Superman
a,
2025
yeah,
don't
that's what I'm
set
saying.
stuff up.
Yeah, it does. You see Supergirl at the end.
Oh right. Oh, you mean set stuff up? Set
Yeah, I
Yeah,
stuff
read
up.
Blade 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
Blade 2.
Oh, yeah,
Blade
Blade
2.
2, yeah, they shit the bed with that. But,
Spider-Man. What?
but
Blade
you
2 was
kind of,
amazing. What are
yeah,
you on
no,
about?
no, I meant as in it wasn't amazing. It was
It
okay,
was
but I didn't.
amazing.
It was a great, it was a good movie. It wasn't amazing.
That was a great movie. I'll go look at
I'll be
watch and
honest, as
smoke it.
someone who's
It had
watched
the
Blade
great
2,
Johnny John Jules, man. And Donnie Yen. How do you get Johnny John Jules, Donnie Yen, and Ron Perlman in the same damn thing?
But yeah, no, look, I liked Blade
I
2.
love Blade 2,
We
man.
digress. I
listen,
liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't
If this
amazing
was
in
Blade
my.
3, I'd be with you. I'd be with you. I'd
Mm,
be like, yo, yeah, you're right. Ryan Reynolds and Triple H. Nah, fuck that film. like,
nah, I'm
like
telling
that
you,
film sucks. But
I
Blade
rewatched
2,
it recently. Blade 2 is not as good as you remember it.
yeah, it's not a great
no, you know
movie.
what?
It's
You
a
know what
good
it is with
movie.
Blade 2? You know
Mhm.
what it is with Blade 2? The effects don't hold up. That's
No,
what it
it's
is.
nothing to
Yeah.
do with the
Mm.
effects.
Oh, you just don't like it, really?
It's not the effects.
Oh
I
man.
remember having a strong, healthy love for that film,
I
and I
still got
watched
it.
it again, and I was
I
like,
watched Blade 1 and
wow.
2 quite a lot. I got it recently during lockdown because I bought the Steelbook editions
Yeah.
and I watched them both then. I think the last time I saw them was like last year as well. But I watched them all the time. I'm too close to those films
Okay.
myself personally because I watched them more than the average dude, you know. But if you've got a hazy memory, like because I remember that's the screening I remember watching the Blade films.
Anyway, we're not here to talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Blade. Shut the
No,
fuck
we're
up.
always here to talk about the
No, we will
Daywalker.
do an episode on the Blade movies, by the
Forget
way.
Yeah.
And if
Supergirl.
and if it ever fucking
Yeah.
gets
I mean,
remade,
All right.
it
but
So
should
yeah,
get
what's the next
remade.
trailer?
but
What's the next
keeping
trailer?
keeping
Hold on, Street Fighter, because that's why I'm here.
No, 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 no.
yeah,
Let's
No,
do
but
that's
Street
all
Fighter.
keeping
Put it
you.
on.
That's
keeping on
Put it
board,
all.
on.
That's you.
Put it on.
Anyway, well, let me
Let's
digress
go.
back to
staying on
what.
track with
All right.
Supergirl.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Neil.
As I said, it's not a bad trailer if seen in a chasm, but seeing it as a trailer and knowing literally like I implore you, Andy, right? When we're done here, just literally load up Guardians trailers 1, 2, 3, load up Thor Ragnarok, and then watch
Oh,
those
no,
four,
not Thor
and
Ragnarok.
then watch. Even though you don't like it, I know you don't like it. Forget the film. Forget how you feel about the film. Just the
Hmm.
trailers.
And
Watch
compare it.
those four trailers,
Okay.
and then stick Supergirl at the end of it, and tell me if you genuinely are like, no, there's a solid difference. They look exactly the same.
But I think you can say that
That
about so many movies nowadays. The
no, you.
trailers are
The thing is, the thing is,
thing is,
trade
James Gunn's got
most
a way of
trailers.
working.
Yeah, but this isn't a James Gunn film.
No, but
You have to remember
he's
that.
heavily
Just
influenced in
because
what we've seen on this trailer.
it no doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Right,
Because he didn't write the script and he's got nothing to do with the direction. He may
right.
produce it,
More
but
because the thing is,
yeah,
when we say that, right, we look at it like this. There is always most films come out and they have a style. There is a style of trailers that come
yeah,
out, and it happens, you know, there was a style of trailers, I think it was like there's a Nolan style of trailers, and it doesn't matter if Nolan's involved with the film or not. There's a Nolan style of trailers. Then
Hmm.
there's a quote unquote Marvel style of trailers. There's a Marvel style of trailers. That Marvel style of trailers is different than the Guardians of the Galaxy style of trailers, right?
Hmm.
So there are times where certain trailers mix and match and blend together, but there's a feel for them. And I think Supergirl feels like it's a James Gunn movie just from the trailers. If you stack, like I said, if you stack
Yeah, I get
those
it.
four trailers together, they look similar and they fit in a certain mold. And
Okay.
that is what I think is in on one hand, it's a good thing because Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3 are beloved superhero movies. Even Thor Ragnarok, regardless of how you feel about it or how I feel about it, it's a beloved film amongst most people. And so emulating a beloved film in your trailer is a good idea.
Okay.
I'm just like, it's a teaser trailer. There's a lot of things that people who aren't like heavily invested in comic books do not know and don't understand. But all I'm saying is, in general, just from the trailer alone, it looks okay, but it doesn't look standout.
Okay. What do you boys, obviously we sit here knowing now what we know with Superman 2025.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from the Supergirl movie? Is it because we all kind of know, I'm guessing we don't know, that's the wrong word. Uh we're gonna get a
Three
good
of us
back
know.
yeah, we're gonna get a backstory. We're
Yeah.
gonna get it's her Superman already mentioned it in the movie where she's been jumping from planet to planet, getting drunk and causing
Mhm.
trouble and having fights, which they kind of teased in that teaser trailer that we saw.
Yeah.
What do you two want to see from this movie? What do you think we'll see from this movie? Because look, I'm kind of sitting here with my rose tinted Superman, Supergirl glasses.
Hmm.
Everyone knows DC's my as much as I love doing Marvelous Mondays. I think,
DC's your bag.
yeah, Superman would kick the shit out of everyone that Marvel could bring to the table. But that's a whole different. Don't do it. That's a whole different argument. Don't even do it. Don't do it. We haven't got time. We'll be here till Marvelous Monday.
Right.
DC's my be all in it. I love DC to death. If we ever, I dream one day of DC versus Marvel movie. If the studios could ever sit down, it would blow cinema out of
Mhm.
the water. If DC and Marvel could ever get their heads together and go, right, let's do something.
I
It'll
don't ever
never
want to
happen.
see it.
It will
I
never happen.
don't.
It's happened
I
in
don't
comic
ever
book
want to see
form.
it.
I know you
Yeah.
hate that kind of shit and you want it to stay on the comic book pages, but for me,
No.
I'd love to
You
see.
know why? You know why I don't want to see it? I'll tell you why I don't want to see it. Because what will happen is it will be a Vin Diesel The Rock or a Vin Diesel Dwayne
yeah.
Johnson
It'd just be
situation
Fast and Furious.
where
Yeah,
it will literally be it's in the contract. These people can't lose a fight, and these people have to have the exact same amount of punches that those people have, and it has to be equal. You can't just definitively have a winner. It will be like, oh, here's Quicksilver and here's Superman. And then what it'll be is instead of losing, Quicksilver will just run away.
Yeah, but imagine a
And it was
multiverse where there's
right.
like Thanos and um don't know, all the every like
So, so I'm gonna
bad uni.
destroy the stream right here.
Oh, why you always
Mm.
got
I'm
to do
not
this
that
to me,
guy that
bro?
believes in that. It's great for the comic books, it's great for cartoons, but
Mhm.
I want good movies. And unless there's a reason and an actual great thing that would make a great movie and a
Mhm.
story, and if the story presents itself where it needs to have those characters in those parameters to
Mhm.
make it a great movie, then fine, cool. But if you can't make a good story out of it, you shouldn't do it at all.
There's a multiverse out there. They could make a
Yeah,
good movie out
but
of it.
multiverse. The
But
problem I
again, it
have
is
with
the thing of content versus
yeah,
actual making something, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
but I just reckon if you put like the head honchos of Marvel and the head honchos of DC and said, give us 2 hours and 45 minutes of your best work.
It wouldn't happen. It would not be as a good a thing. In your mind, the fact that it hasn't happened in your mind, it's a great thing.
There's a
It is
lot of things in my mind that
I'll tell you
haven't
what it is,
happened.
right? I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what
I
this
mean,
is.
it's great for
I'll put this in
12-year-olds. I
terms that
mean,
you will totally understand. This is the equivalent of having
sorry
like
guys, I'm jaded.
the
I'm just a jaded
Brazil
old man.
of like
Sorry,
having
guys.
the Brazil Pele's best Brazil team playing like Mbappe's best France team. On paper, you're like, yeah, this would be a great game. It would be a terrible game. It would be a terrible game because the styles are so different that you wouldn't be able to merge those two things together and have them fit perfectly. And whilst Marvel and DC both make comics, they both make superheroes, both of them have superheroes who are basically mirror versions of each other. This is the heads of the coin, this is the tails of the coin. There are too many people involved who would have too many agendas to allow it to go a certain way. You'd have to have a completely independent party come in and say, I'm going to take these characters and put them together, and they're going to make some kind of cohesive storyline. And I don't care who you love versus who you don't love. Because if James Gunn's in charge, DC wins. If Kevin Feige is in charge, Marvel wins. Yeah, there might be this person might beat that person, but it will form for a story. There will not be a thing of this is great, bada bing, done. It would
Yeah.
never happen. That's the reality.
All right, boys, just crush a boy's dream on a Saturday afternoon. Cheers, lads. Yeah, great. So this Supergirl movie is set to hit
Yes.
our screens in June.
Hmm.
What do you? Superman's in it. We know he's in it. How much?
I hope it's a cameo. That
Yeah, apparently, we're guessing here.
yeah.
I think obviously we know we get the Superman movie the year after in 2027
Yes.
is when we get our next Superman movie.
Hmm.
How much are they going to separate quote unquote Supergirl from
Hmm.
setting up the next Superman movie? Because what are we really going to get between 2026 and 2027's Superman? We don't know. There's going to be TV cameos. Obviously,
Hmm.
you've got Peacemaker going on. You've got all sorts. DC are releasing. There's quite a lot of TV shows coming out.
Yeah.
They briefly released a small clip here of
Of
Lanterns yesterday.
lanterns.
Did anyone
Yeah.
see that? Yes. So we're going to
Yeah.
have
So
that. We don't know how much is going to. It was like a 20-second thing. Safs.
yeah.
If you go on YouTube, Safs, just type in Lanterns. It's like 20 seconds old. Sorry. It barely tells you anything. The little the ring is on a car. It flies off a cliff, and that's basically it. So they're
I
going to
think I
use
saw
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to use that to set up. Who knows what that could be
Hmm.
standalone. We don't. That's the
Thing
only
is,
problem with superhero stuff.
yeah.
Are they always using something to set something else up? So my question is, I'll get there in the end. How much of this will be a Supergirl movie, quote unquote, and how much of this will be again setting up what we're going to see in James Gunn's 2027 Superman?
I think it'll predominantly be a Supergirl movie.
Hmm.
And I'm hoping, what I hope is like Superman, like Supergirl cameoed at the end of Superman. I would like Superman to cameo either at the start or the end. Have it
Hmm.
be something as simple as like, she's like, oh, you know, something as simple as like, Superman's there. She flies into the Fortress of Solitude.
Hmm.
She's like, I forgot my sunglasses, and then pisses off, right? Something as simple as that. I don't want Superman in it to take away from Supergirl because her story, this what they are presenting, what it looks like they are presenting us with Supergirl is something that needs to stand on its own.
Hmm.
When you start cluttering it with other
How
characters,
important is it that they do that in the DCU? Because everything
very
revolves around
important.
Superman and Batman. Everything.
It's
The
very
whole
important.
universe revolves around them two. And as much as I love DC, and we all know that they're my go-to and they're my
Yep.
goats, how important is it that they do what Marvel have done? Because I could watch Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, I can watch Spider-Man, and they're all good branches off, and then they all come together and it's
Mhm.
the Avengers, and I love it. And we talk about it every
Yeah.
Monday. How important is it the DCU do that with what they're going to try and do with Lanterns, what they're going to now do with Supergirl, and they don't just rely on Superman, and we're going to get a new Batman. From what I'm hearing, we're going to get in 2027. That's the
Mhm.
rumored time that we're going to get it.
Yeah.
How important is it that DC don't just gamble and put all their eggs in one basket?
It's hugely important.
Mm.
It's hugely important. The whole reason, the only here's the let's cut through the crap. The MCU doesn't exist right now because of all these amazing team ups.
Hmm.
The team ups are the icing and the cherry to the hard work that was made to build it up. We care about we cared about the Avengers film. Yeah, oh, it was great. It's a team up movie, but because we fell in love with Tony Stark
Hmm.
and seeing Tony Stark interact with Thor, interact with Captain America, it's an idea that formulates in you. I want to see it because I want to see that guy who I care about with these guys, who maybe I don't care about, but with these guys. And then it snowballed effects. Black Panther, what genuinely as a solo movie, right? Removing his introduction via Civil War, what does Black Panther genuinely have to do with the rest of the MCU? And the reason I use Black Panther is because outside of anyone who appears in the first Avengers movie, it's the only one. First time out the gate, billion.
Mm. And they had to introduce, they had to get the whole Wakanda stuff in there because
Yeah,
of the role it plays later on.
right. And this is what I'm saying is DC, it's absolutely vital because you're gonna need people who, like myself, don't have a fond opinion of Superman. You're gonna need to give me something that invests me into your universe.
Are DC where Marvel were with Iron Man 1 now, with James Gunn completely trying to, he's got the script, he's gone, right, we're starting, and Superman
Mhm,
2025. And when you do look back at Superman 2025, whether you like it, you hate it, you love it, etc.,
mhm.
it's page one. It's let's build this universe. Let's give. Well, the big DC have gone basically. Okay, look, we've done this 1,000 times with the comics. Every comic's done it. We've had Rebirth. We've had like everything's been
Yeah, New
spun here.
52, you
Yeah, the
named
new
it. We've done it.
52, which was fucking terrible, by the way. I don't know why the fuck they done it. I hated it.
I rather
But
liked it.
no, I hate it. It's not as bad as the Triangle series. Do you remember when they done Superman? That was horrendous.
Oh, the Trinity.
That's the one. Awful. Don't know why they done it. But is this in movie terms, boys?
Yep.
DC going right. We're starting again. We're doing this is our Iron Superman was our Iron Man one.
Hmm.
Supergirl is going to be the next. Well, you can have Lantern squeezed in. Supergirl is going to be our next movie. So we're
No,
giving you our
Incredible Hulk.
yeah, we're giving you the big hitter straight away. We're giving you everything you know. You know this logo right here, the
Yep.
Superman logo. You know it. So we're giving you these two out the bat, and then we're gonna go. Then we're gonna go. No pun intended there. Then we're gonna go Batman, and then we're gonna go with the Green
Is
Lantern's getting this.
Batman definitely the next thing?
Well, it's only been rumored
I hope not.
2027.
I
Yeah,
personally hope
I
not.
don't think it will happen in time. I think Green Lantern will get a standalone movie before we get another Batman.
I would like to see personally if it was me, I'd hold off on Batman. I
Hmm.
would hint at Batman. I'd have bat signals or like
Yeah.
mention Gotham and stuff like that. I'd probably introduce other Batman characters into the universe. I would even go so far to introduce Bruce Wayne before the Batman movie.
Mm.
That's what I would do. But I'm talking, and the reason I do this is because at the moment, Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, they're doing their thing. All right. I'd rather that trilogy be put to bed. And
Especially after the last movie.
once that's done, whether you now, I'm not the biggest The Batman fan. All right. I personally felt it was good until it wasn't. I felt the last 20 minutes destroyed the whole movie. That's my own personal take on that. Disagree with me if you want. Um, but I just feel that, it did resonate with a lot of people. There is
Mhm.
a hungry audience for it, and people do love that take on Batman.
Are you with that? Are
But
you with
my,
the re? Are you with the rebranding of DC though, Sash? Do you see what DC are trying to do?
oh yeah, I see what,
Whether you
no, no, no,
like it or
no. I'm,
not,
I'm
are they
just
doing
trying
the
to,
right thing?
I just hope that they introduce Batman
Mhm.
after the Reeves one is done,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Mm.
That way, there's no confusion for the general audience. Because you got to understand, the general audience don't care about the shit. All right, they'll watch it and they'll be like, "Why is there two Batman? Oh, it's the last Batman since last week." You know
And
what I
this is
mean?
why I think DC have done
Yeah.
what DC have done with
So I
I
Superman
think
think.
I,
first, then
I
Supergirl.
personally think they should lay off on Batman. They
Mhm.
need to concentrate on their other heroes, the other heavy hitters of the Justice League, and interweave Batman mythology throughout the films. And then when Batman does come to it, it'll be like a Spider-Man thing. You remember when Spider-Man hit the
Mm.
MCU and
Mm.
everyone was like, "Oh, he's here," you
I
know?
wish they hadn't told us though. I wish that I think
Oh
me and
yeah,
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 Neil
yeah,
yeah.
we
that would
done
have
that on
been
our
a.
Marvelous
Oh
Monday.
yeah, yeah,
But I'm hoping
totally.
that DC are going to try and get because I thought the last Justice League
Yeah.
movie was fucking terrible. I hated
That
everything
that
about it.
would be a good way to introduce Batman in the Justice League
So
movie.
I'm hoping that's where James Gunn and all these guys are trying to get to.
Mm.
We're gonna have a really good Justice League movie, and
Mhm.
it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Look, I don't copy Marvel, but you have to the the precedent that Marvel have set, and it's what
You
is it?
know,
Flattery is the best
yeah.
form of
Oh,
imitation.
compare
Imitation, yeah.
imitation the best
It's
form
the
of
best form of
flattery.
flattery. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing with going, right, we're doing Superman, Supergirl, we're doing Lanterns, we're doing maybe Batman, we're doing maybe something else, and then we're going to go, what Wonder Woman you need to put back into the mix because the last movie was absolute dog shit. So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do with her.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden you've got a base because there's no point going, here's three movies, bam, we're going to give you Justice League. And you're just going to go, hang on a minute, where the fuck's Wonder Woman been? What was Batman been up to? What's,
Here's the problem I see with this, right? It's all good and well to attempt to emulate what Marvel did, the blueprint that Marvel set. The problem with that is this, and it's a very simple problem. When the MCU came about and we had Iron Man, right? Of the four characters who were introduced, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Incredible Hulk. Of those four characters introduced, only one of them was absolute 100 stacks name branded, and that was the Hulk. Iron Man, if you were not a comic book fan, if you were not someone who grew up reading comic books or watching the animated shows or anything
I
like
agree with
that,
that, yeah.
you kind of knew who Iron Man was. You kind of knew who Thor was. You kind of knew who Captain America were. These are not names of people that you just wouldn't know. I'm not saying that they were completely devoid of knowledge, but
Mhm.
what I'm saying is they weren't characters they weren't the forefront. In the comic books, they weren't the forefront.
Mhm.
So when they were put on screen, it felt like it was something new. DC has a problem. The problem they have is that almost every character that they would like to put forward to you, we have seen in a cinema screen. You've seen Superman, you've seen Supergirl, not in her own movie, but she was in what's her name? Yes, there was in '84 we had a Supergirl movie. But what I mean is Supergirl was in the Flash movie. So the Flash has his own movie. Supergirl's got her own movie. Superman's got his own movie. Batman's got his own movie. Wonder Woman's got her own movie. We have seen all of these characters. Aquaman has his own movie. So there is no character in 2025 who you would say this is someone I'm really going to throw out. Real no mainstay character that you can put out that DC can really throw at you and be like, here you go, new character for you to really invest in. Everyone you're investing in, you have a prior relationship with.
Mm.
That's an issue that they have to try and overcome. But what I would like to see personally, somewhat similar to what Sash said, I think it's absolutely the worst decision to make any sort of Batman film at within the next 3 to 5 years.
I agree with that.
Because you think about it, we're in 2025. Okay, so from
Just
2015 to 2025, how many Batmen have we seen?
Too many.
Right?
Way too many.
Think about it.
There are
From
more,
then
probably
till
more
now,
Batmans
right?
than James
Affleck,
Bonds at this
Bell,
point.
yeah,
Affleck, you think you go with Affleck, Bale, Patterson,
Patterson.
Keaton, because he's in the Flash movie, right?
Hmm.
So that's four over the course of 10 years, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
you got even, you know what would be nice? You know what would be really, really nice, really lovely, a really good thing to do would be to throw it out there and surprise us. And you know what you do? The end of Supergirl, you have her on Earth and you cameo someone. You have she is in a bar drinking, someone approaches her and is like strikes up a conversation. And you know what? You know who that person is? Is Dick Grayson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick
yeah.
Grayson, and then oh, like somebody walks into a bar, she looks at the person, starts chatting away. You don't know who that person is, and maybe even the way she refers to him, she's like, "Oh, don't be a dick," right? And then the end of it is the person's like, "Well, it's a little bit hard. That is my name." Turns, looks, is Dick Grayson, and then you're like,
Mm.
"Oh, wow, that's a nice thing." Because at 23. I'd rather see Supergirl interacting with the likes of the Teen Titans. I'd like to see her. I want to see Dick Grayson. I want to see Damian Wayne. I want to see Starfire. I want to see
Mm.
Raven. I want to see characters that I have not seen on the cinema screen before.
Still got like Stargirl and things like that. That DC. I mean, season one was
Yeah,
really good.
right.
Season two
But I'm
flopped
like,
like shit.
I want to see these characters who I have not found who I want to see characters who I don't own on Blu-ray in their film form, right? Show
Mm.
me some. There's a reason it's a universe, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna build a universe, build it.
Build it because the thing is, Batman is always gonna pull in an audience.
Mm.
Superman is always gonna pull in an audience. The Flash, maybe not the Flash, right? But characters like Wonder Woman, Flash, yeah, they're always going to be your mainstays because everybody under the sun already knows who they are.
Mm.
But one of the best points, and granted, Marvel, the MCU worked the way MCU did because Marvel Studios didn't have access to the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. They didn't have X-Men they didn't have these characters readily available to make things. Otherwise, I'm sure that we'd have got a Spider-Man to start things off or the X-Men to start things off. We would have got the generic thing that we know as the starting point.
Mm.
DC don't have that problem. They have everyone available to them. So you have to work better because you have everyone available to you.
Yeah,
That's
they don't have
you,
the issue of, well, we can't use that person or we can't do this or
yeah,
we can't do that. They have everything there at their disposal. No one's killed off as well in what's gone. If you think Snyder verse and stuff, all their main superheroes are all still alive. There isn't
yeah.
anyone that's
So I
been,
would literally
you
just
know,
say, I would just say, you know what? All right, so we know that we're getting a Superman 2 in 27,
2027. Yeah.
right? Okay, fine. That's fine. You know what? We got an Iron Man, we got Incredible Hulk, and then we got an Iron Man 2. So far, so good. Do what you're doing. But the next film after Superman 2.
I think it'll be the Green Lantern one if it isn't squeezed in before.
But it's not because Green Lantern is a TV show. Lanterns is a show.
Yeah, but
It's
they're
not
making
a
a movie.
movie,
Green
right?
Lantern's getting his own standalone movie, isn't he?
Okay. But that's the thing. Even then, I wouldn't because I was like, it was like you need a character or a set of characters that your audience can't readily go and just pluck that film out that's come before. Lanterns needs to really, really establish itself in a strong way
Hmm.
because the last thing that people know about Green Lantern isn't even the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film. It's Deadpool killing Ryan Reynolds to make sure he didn't do the Green Lantern film. That's
Yeah.
the lasting memory of that.
Mm.
I'm like, you got to do things to get places before we get there.
That's the only issue I've got with patience and people within the DC universe right now. Everyone, not me, and like you
Yeah,
mentioned earlier, Neil, we're comic book fans. We get
yeah.
it. I reckon there'll be people out there that just be like, no, fuck this. I just want to. I'm a Batman fan. Give me a Batman movie. I'm a Wonder Woman fan. Give me a Wonder. There'll be them people out there because there are people that
Mhm.
go. There'll be people now that'll be like, right, I watch Superman, I watch Supergirl. No one will watch Lanterns in between. Like I'm talking to your casual
Yeah,
yeah,
Joe Blogs.
your Joe
Never.
blogs. I just want to go and watch the Superman movie. I want to go. They're not going to watch Lanterns. They're not going to. You might have to read two comic books in between to find out what's.
Yeah.
They're not going to be us. There are thousands of people out there like that. So my only worry is that you're going to try and do it, but you've got to. When people do go into the cinema, you want them to walk in knowing something already. If you know what I mean, not on them
But the
going, hang
thing
on a
is,
minute, do I need to have watched this to or read this to.
it's true. We do say that, but I say this as a simple thing against that. Most people didn't know who the fuck Thor was when that film came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Most people, 85% of people had no fucking idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy were when they
Mm.
stepped in to see that first film.
I'd say it was
Right?
more in the 90s.
There you go. More in
Yeah,
the 90s. I was
more
trying
in
to
the
be
90s.
generous. I was trying to be nice and
No, I'll
generous,
be,
right?
I'll be savage. You know what?
And
One of my
90,
friends I
right?
used to work with was like, I ain't seen that shit with the fucking talking tree.
Yeah.
That was literally the
95. Yeah.
consensus. Yeah,
There's 95% of people had no friggin' idea who the Black Panther was, right?
yeah.
There are tons, there are like, almost all of phase three gave you someone you never knew about,
Mm. No,
right?
true.
And
True,
I'm just
boys.
saying, I'm just like, if you know what like Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. If you make a good enough, if you invest people in a way, if you make something so good, so undeniable that they're like, I'm coming back to see more of this.
Mm.
Because guess what? I know I didn't like it. But if Superman was Endgame or Infinity Wars levels of wow,
It was. Sorry. What?
right? If it was that, do you know what would have happened? You bring out Supergirl and you say from the studio that brought you Superman. Now it doesn't matter if people know who the character is. They're just like, you guys did that, I'm here.
Yeah, I think University though. As soon as you see that, the logo.
Right? I mean, I put it to you like this, right? The amount of films that have come out recently, action films, where all they have to say is from the guys that brought you John Wick, and I'm like, sold,
Ballerina.
right? It
So they
doesn't
sold
even
Ballerina
matter if
because you
it
knew John
doesn't,
Wick was in
yeah,
it.
it doesn't even matter if the film is good or bad. You just say from the guys that brought you that, and I'm like,
That made that Ballerina. We're not going to get
good
into it. We've
enough.
reviewed it already, but because of John Wick, that Ballerina movie was really good. Apart from the last 10 minutes of it.
Right.
The
That's the
CGI.
thing. You got
Yeah.
things like you have things like that. So I just say DC, you've got legs to work with. I want to see a Titans movie before I see a Batman movie.
Okay.
And
Well,
even better, because you could use the Titans movie to bring it in. Because, like Sasha's saying, he wants to see a Bruce Wayne before he sees a Batman. Think how wonderful it would be if you make a Titans movie and the cameo at the end of it is Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne having a conversation, and they're like, okay, yeah, I just spoke with Kara and Dick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They said things are fine. They don't really need us. Oh, they've apologized for blowing up this building, and like they promise it won't happen again. And I was like, they were like, you can still pay for that, right, Bruce? Click. Here's a picture of Bruce. And I was like, of course.
I can see why you've done a degree in film now. I like it. You should actually.
Mm.
Boys, it's been good breaking
Yep.
down Supergirl, talking all things DC. Really, really good. Anyone that wants to check out our content, please head over to YouTube. Sash,
Mhm.
the interview we done, our last Superman interview, funny enough, absolutely
Oh,
flying.
yes, you did.
I think. Have you watched it yet, Neil? Did you check it out?
I haven't finished it yet, though.
Check it out. It's Sash is absolutely flying that episode. That was our last one out, so go and check out that. But on YouTube, just type in "completed it" podcast and my little thing there, as you can see. At Completed It Pod on Twitter is where you can find us. Completed It Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Just type in Complete. That little logo behind me will pop up. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But boys, we are going to be back later next week talking more Marvelous Mondays. We are in the lead up to Christmas. We might even do some Christmas films. And just for Sash, we'll talk about Street Fighter as well, because I know he's very, very keen to talk about that. I'll just sit there and nod along. Not really my fucking thing. Piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. No, I'm joking, Sash. Don't jump on me. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back later next week with more Marvelous Mondays. But till next time, everybody, stay safe.